Hello, everyone. Welcome to Conversations with Attorney JV. Conversations is your insider look into the beautiful world of pageantry. I'm your host, Attorney JV, Aces and Queens Q&A mentor, and your pageantry insider. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. I'm sure may mga naghihintay na sa'yo. We saw a couple of people already waiting on the video a while ago on YouTube, but I'm so excited to bring to you the second episode of the second season of Conversations. And we're starting off something different tonight. As you can see, I'm in a different location of my condo because we will have our guests live. And the two guests that we have tonight, obviously, I love all of our Aces and Queens girls, and these two I love equally. And I'm so excited to bring to you the beautiful representative from Cebu and the beautiful representative also from the city of Parañaque. And we are back. As you can see, we have Miss Tracy Maureen Perez from Cebu and Miss Tatyana Austria from Parañaque. Hello, girls!
Hello, Taty! Hi, Taty!
I'm so happy that you guys, even though they were both late, we're so sorry for that. It's traffic, it's Friday, we understand.
And I came from my final fitting.
Ooh, final
yes.
fitting.
We're gonna find out about that later.
We will ask about the gowns later. No specific details. But at least the designer, maybe we can tell them about the designer later. But before we start our show tonight, we will give our ladies an opportunity to talk about themselves in our opening statement. So, Tatyana, your opening statement, please.
I'm the first. Is this alphabetical order? That's why. Oh my
By age.
Good evening, everyone who's watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is the first episode of the second season. I'm Tatyana Austria representing Parañaque City. I'm 18 years old and candidate number 18, which I think it's cute. I'm a graduating science high school student, an aspiring medical professional who ironically forgot how to spell pneumonia in second grade. But people change, and that's why we're here to improve ourselves in the real world.
Thank you, Dad. That's why she's starting to become a favorite also of the pageant vlog. She's so well-spoken
Oh,
She
that's so
despite
sweet.
her young age. You know, there's so much wisdom there. That's one reason why I've always been impressed with this woman.
Well, I look up to my sisters, that's why. I have such good role models kasi.
That's true. And speaking about one of your role models, Tracy, your time.
Thank you, Tat. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Conversations with Attorney JV. Thank you for watching. My name is Tracy Maureen Perez. I'm candidate number 36 for Miss World Philippines 2021. I am 28 years old and I'm proudly representing my beautiful hometown, Cebu. I am an industrial engineer by profession. I'm also a model and a host based in Cebu. I was raised by my single mom. I'm also an only child, so it's really refreshing to be with my sisters every single time, especially during our trainings. And I look forward to really seeing this through with them. I know that the future is bright for us.
Aww.
Aww.
Thank you for that introduction, Trace. And not a lot of people actually know that about you. You know, it's not really on social media. It's not really on your Instagram account. And that's why we have conversations tonight to get to know you a little bit more in depth. All right. Okay, so guys, since this is a special episode and a series of episodes for Conversations with Attorney JV, our typical program flow is not going to be implemented tonight. All right. So for tonight, we're going to have 3 rounds of competition. Our first round, well, that was the opening statement. The second round, since we are competing for Miss World Philippines, will be a head-to-head challenge. The third round will be obviously, well, this is not obvious pala, the speed round.
Ooh.
This is new for Conversations in Season 2. And the last round, obviously, is Q&A. It will not be a Conversations with Attorney JV without the dreaded Q&A round. Girls, ladies, sorry, are we ready?
Ready, more than ready.
All right. Okay. So our first round of competition is our head-to-head challenge. So, pick pack boom. Who goes first?
Ano daya?
All right. So, Tatyana, do you want to go first or do you want to go second in head-to-head?
Second.
But I won.
Actually, yeah.
Ah, you won pala. Sorry. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Sorry,
I'm gonna go first.
Rock.
That's fine.
Rock, beat, scissors. I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
really. Or we can go
So,
together.
We can
Sir
go
Tracy,
together
do you
to
want to go
essay.
first or do you want to go second?
Okay, I'm gonna go first.
Go first. Okay.
Because a beauty queen has an initiative.
Yeah.
First
That's
rule
what
of
Attorney
pageant
JV always
training.
tells us.
Yes.
And we try to embody it.
All right. All right. So before we go there, we already have some comments on our chat group, and oh my gosh, Miss Mafe Yunan
Hello, Miss
Velasco.
Mafe! We just had our
Thank you for
personality
tuning in.
development training earlier with Miss Mafe. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, and we're gonna apply it tonight.
Yes,
We
and
appreciate all the kind words as well. It's going to motivate us so much in our journey to Miss World.
she was my first guest, as you know,
Yes.
on Conversations Season 2. Thank you so much, Mafe. I love you. And also, we have one of your sisters.
Patricia! Good luck!
Hi, Trisha!
Trisha, I miss you. All right, and then, oh.
She's next though.
Callie.
Sorry. Future attorney.
Callie. And
See you later.
See you later. We'll have dinner later. And obviously, it will not end without.
Attorney JT's just right here.
Attorney
guys.
JP. So Callie, if you don't know, JT and Callie are also part of our Q&A mentor team. And Aces and Queens will not be complete. It will not be home. It will not be family without the two of them as well. All right. So, tama na ang delaying tactics natin. And we will
Nag-iisip na kami
go.
dito eh.
I know. All right. Our first word. All right. Our first word is love. Go ahead, Trace.
Love. Love for me is universal. Love is for everyone. And I'd like to believe that all of us, no matter the gender, no matter our beliefs, our principles, we all deserve to love and be loved. And that is why I hope that every one of us find our soulmates. May that be within our niche, within our group of friends. But definitely, I know for a fact that there is always someone out there for all of us. We don't necessarily have to find love, but love will always find us.
Oh my gosh. Parang kaming ang lalim ng hugot.
From experience.
From experience. Masyado
Experience.
makalata.
Wait lang, wala akong experience.
It's okay, I'm gonna teach you.
Nanonood si Mommy at si
Mommy,
Daddy.
hi, tita. Tito.
That was very good, Trace. I love it. There was no buckling. Diba? Smooth ang transition, smooth ang delivery.
Ooh, thank you.
Mukhang magaling ang Q&A trainer si Tracy
Sino
Morin.
kaya?
I wonder who my trainers are.
Thank you for that,
Thank you,
Trace.
Ate.
And I know love is such a special word for you. I'll ask you a little bit more about that later. Why love is such a special word for you. All right. Now, your turn, Taty. Go for it.
I wholeheartedly agree that love finds us and that we should look away from having to find love in every day of our lives. And while we take the time to wait for love to find us, I hope that we continue to fight for those who cannot love the way they want to in this world. I hope that we stand for those, we stand in solidarity with those who struggle to celebrate who they are, to love themselves, to love their families, and to love who they want to love in this world. And so with solidarity and love, you can never go wrong.
And that, hindi ko alam kung where will I start with that one, di ba? Pinalalim ang love. Love is not a selfish thing. It's not an individual thing. It's something that the community must have and that the community must support. And there were tones of inclusion and diversity in that. And I always support that kind of discussion. Girls, ladies, and gentlemen, Tatyana is only 18 years old. Let me just remind all of you that she's only just what do you call this, legally an adult a couple of months ago. So impressed with Taty. All right. Okay, guys, type in the chat who won the head-to-head challenge
Why am I
for
being
round
called?
1. I will
Oh, no.
not be I will not be voting. I will not be declaring a winner lest I be, crucified by your respective fans. But both of you did really good, and I'm sure, in Miss World, when you do have your head-to-head challenge, I believe that you have a head-to-head challenge, right?
We do.
But we don't know yet what the format will be. All right. Okay, then we're preparing for everything. All right. Second na. Are we ready for our second round of
Ready.
head-to-head?
Ready.
Okay, pick back boom ulit.
Or maybe
You wanna?
go second this time.
okay.
Para fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that.
Ano, taking over the show also.
Diba?
But yes, I think in terms of fairness, I agree with that. All right, that. Your word is free speech.
Free speech is balancing on a tightrope as we speak. We have seen firsthand during this pandemic how press freedom, of all things, is endangered. And that how something as simple as a community pantry can be read that. And so with free speech, I hope that we know how powerful it is. But with great power, comes great responsibility. And that when we interact with other people, we use free speech in the best of ways, with the best of intentions, never to hurt anyone, but to stand for the things we believe in, for the right direction, for the greater good of the world.
Attorney, can
Hindi
I
ko alam
use it?
Parang, don't drop my expensive mic, but we could have dropped the mic there.
Thank you.
It's so powerful. So powerful.
Thank you.
Attorney, you were speechless and I'm speechless too. I don't even know
I'm speechless
what to
in a free
add.
speech
Free
question.
speech question.
Exactly. Amazing time.
No, that was really good. That was a very strongly worded statement. And in Aces and Queens, whenever we train, we never discourage the girls to freely speak their mind. In fact, we encourage them to speak their minds in an elevated way. And I think that was an extremely elevated way of dealing with a very controversial topic.
Thank you.
It wasn't offensive to anyone, right? But you truly showcase what your heart wanted to say. And there's nothing else I can add to that.
Oh my god, that means a lot. Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, Tati, I have nothing to add.
Now, Tracy, your turn on this word, free speech.
I definitely agree with everything that you said. I think that it's amazing, all the points that you brought out there. But I also want to add that free speech is an individual right. It's our basic human right, and it's just sad that a lot of us are not able to exercise that right. May that be because of fear, may that be because of not wanting to be offensive to other people. But definitely it's about finding that balance. It's about knowing when to speak, when to listen, but at the same time, we should also remind ourselves that for important social issues that would hopefully benefit our community, that we should not be afraid to go out there and be a voice for others.
That was an essay na. We can submit it.
Speechless on another amazing answer to that. I didn't, it's so hard to come after Tatyana on
Definitely.
that particular word. But I think that you were able to elevate it also on a different perspective, which is equally powerful and equally had a strong message also. So, hindi ako kakabahan sa head-to-head challenge as Aces and Queens mentored during your head-to-head challenge. Congratulations,
You thought
both
as
of
well.
you, on that answer. My gulay! My gulay! Okay, we have comments from the audience. You have Ronel, Espiritu, Barbing Barbie tong dalawa. Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ronel Espiritu.
And well, Jonathan Garcia says, Tracy Maureen Perez, crown. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yes. And Attorney JT. I guess man. Hindi
Love
naman
you,
siya,
attorney!
hindi naman siya biased. Hindi naman siya biased. Right. All right. Thank you so much, guys. So if you have any questions for our ladies tonight, just put them on the chat, and then we will ask the ladies later. All right. Okay, good. I think that was another tie. So we're both tied on the first and the second word. Now, the third word will be the tie breaker. All right? The third word is... so who goes first? Pick, boom. Go.
Wait. Okay.
Tracy, do you want to go first or do you want to go second?
I'll go first again. It's so hard to follow Tatyana, so I'd rather go first.
I wouldn't want to follow Tatyana
know.
also, so I understand. All right. So your final word for the head-to-head challenge is COVID-19.
COVID-19. It has been the biggest problem in this century, I would say, and in our lifetime. And it's just sad that, to be very honest, we are not prepared. As a country, as a people, we were not prepared for the pandemic. And we should have been prepared. Our leaders should have had plans for any pandemic to come. And hopefully this would be a lesson learned the hard way, but definitely we have some takeaways that not only our leader, but also us as a community, we should be prepared every single time. We should be able to help each other, even if we ourselves are in challenging times. So as a people, as one nation, we should help each other, our leaders, the private and the public sector. We should be hand in hand in solving COVID-19.
Very good again. Very good. It was very complete answer.
She covered all the bases. Do I
She
have to speak?
Covered all of the bases. So parang ang strategy niya is capture all of the narrative
So I don't have
to leave
it.
nothing for Tatyana. But Tatyana, I know it's going to be a difficult responsibility to come after that. But here's your opportunity to do so. Go ahead.
I wholeheartedly agree again with everything that Ate Tracy said, because she did cover, in fact, all of the bases. And while we are trying to cope up with COVID-19, I would like to leave this message out to anyone who's watching, to trust the science, to know the science. The vaccine programs have been out and pushing through these past few months, and I hope that you have that initiative within yourself to want to protect others around you by getting inoculated with the vaccines available. Because the best vaccine for you is the vaccine that's available for you as well. And with this, we will continue to strive in the new normal, and not only strive in the new normal, survive in the new normal, but by getting vaccinated, we will be creating a better normal for each and every Filipino post-COVID-19 pandemic.
Oh my gosh. Good.
Amazing.
It was so difficult to come under.
It was very good because both of you tackled it from two different perspectives. What the community should be doing, and then trusting the science. Both equally important narratives in the time of the pandemic. Because, yes, you should get vaccinated. Absolutely. I'm getting my second dose on Friday. Thank you, Muntinlupa, for my second dose. And then, but Tracy focused also, aside from trusting the science, what can we do as a community? Defending the protocols, protecting the most vulnerable, prioritizing them for the vaccines, the economic interventions of the government, for example, to ensure that people that lost their jobs during the pandemic will also get the help that they need. So both answers equally good, equally strong narratives. So again, JT, is it a tie?
Yes.
So it's
Really
still
cold.
a tie. Is it cold?
Yeah, it's getting cold now.
Alright. It's getting cold even if you have so many lights.
The questions are heating up. Why is it
I
getting
don't know, it's
cold?
the room.
It's the room.
We need more questions.
Actually, we're getting a lot of questions from the audience right now also. But before that, we will be looking at some of the comments of the people in the audience. Oh, For the Philippines is here.
Hi,
Hello,
Kuya.
hello, babe.
We miss you. Oy. See you on Saturday. Ooh, Callie has a good question. Oyel has a good question also, but we will reserve that for the Q&A round later, right? But for now, Mafe also has a comment. Beauties!
Hello, Miss Nafe.
Hello, Miss Mafe. She's
Thank you for
observing her
watching.
students.
Absolutely agree, both inside and out. This question, the comment on being beautiful. All right. I think both of them successfully completed the head-to-head challenge. Now, and this is a new segment in conversations with the third JV. This is the speed round. All right. So I'll give you one opportunity. Is Tatyana? Please leave the room first.
Okay. You didn't see anything. Bye.
Bye, Tati. I'll see you later.
All right. So now this is for Tracy Maureen Perez. Speed
Oh, Tracy,
round.
woo!
Tracy, I will be asking you a series of questions. The first thing that comes to your head, answer it. All right. Don't overthink the answers.
No explanation.
No
Nothing.
explanation
Okay.
needed. All right. Okay. Are you ready?
Ready?
All right. First question is favorite country you've never visited.
Maldives.
Favorite animal.
Cat.
Favorite beauty pageant.
Miss World.
Favorite Filipino hero.
Jose Rizal.
Favorite province in the Philippines.
Cebu.
Favorite non-Asian country.
Australia.
Australasia, to be fair. Favorite chocolate
Chocolate M&M's with peanuts.
with peanuts. Favorite Filipino actor.
Filipino actor. Piolo Pascual.
Favorite Hollywood actor.
Robert Downey Jr.
Favorite movie.
Avengers.
And your last question. Who is...
Attorney, wait, I'm guys.
if you weren't joining Miss World Philippines, what would you be doing now? Just one word. No explanation.
Working.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you, guys. I'll see you later.
All right. Thank you, Tracy. And now we will welcome back to Conversations, Tatyana, Austria.
Char.
All right, Tat. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. Favorite subject in school?
History.
Favorite university in the Philippines?
You can't pick because they're all equal. They're supposed to be equal for equal education.
Favorite beauty pageant?
Miss World.
Favorite country that you have visited?
Thailand.
Favorite country you've never visited?
Oof. USA because New York is there.
Favorite food?
Food. Spaghetti.
Favorite Filipina actress?
Filipina actors. There's so many. Kim Chu.
Favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show. Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Yeah!
Oh my gosh, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Yes! Favorite cuisine?
Cuisine. Asian. No, what? Nothing can beat Asian cuisine. Talaga.
Yeah, but there are a lot of Asian cuisines. Which one?
Filipino. I'm sorry.
Favorite province in the Philippines? Except aside from Parañaque. Well, Parañaque is not a province, but favorite locality in the Philippines?
Zamboanga.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. And
Buenas noches.
last question. They don't want me to
Ano
answer
ba?
that.
Ano kayo?
They don't want me to ask that question eh. Okay, if you weren't competing in Miss World Philippines, what would you be doing right now?
Studying.
But aren't you doing that also?
I am, but I'm graduating na eh. I already finished the requirements. But I feel like, oh nga no, I'm graduating right now, so if I wasn't, I would really be sitting at home. I would just be sitting at home contemplating on my life and my university choices.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you chosen your university already?
I'm enrolled in a university, but I'm waiting on one more result this July 15. Please pray for me.
I think I know that. Is it the one?
It's the big one.
It's the big one.
It's the
Alright.
big one.
It's the one with 7 years.
If I'm lucky enough to get the 7 years.
Alright. Okay. Noted. Thank you, Tat. May
Thank
follow-up
you.
question. Sorry, Trace. Tracy, join us again.
I will scoot over to make way for the
Thank you.
Queen.
Thank
Where's the
you,
queen?
Tati.
Alright. Okay. Now, I wanted to ask a little bit more. We had that speed round,
Mhm.
but I wanted to get to know you first a little bit more. Let's do the Q&A later. That's super heavy, but now it's the getting to know
Okay.
Tatyana and Ate Tracy.
Ate Tracy.
I'm speaking like I'm speaking for Tatyana.
Okay, I'll take that.
All right, Tracy, you spoke about love a while ago, and I know that it's very personal for you. And I know not a lot of people know your stories, who you are, what makes you tick, what makes you cry, which is a lot.
I all the time. Oh my God. I'm gonna cry now.
Parang every time we hang out, she's always crying.
That's not true, guys.
I wanted to ask you, and I know this is really difficult, Trace, and if you don't want to answer, that's fine. But can you tell us about your experience with your mom?
Well, for those who don't know, I lost my mom at an early age. When I was 17, she just died in her sleep. She did not wake up. And all my life, it has just been my mom and I. So can you imagine how close we were? We were each other's world. And the best love there is in this world, I've experienced it from my mom. And that is, I think, why I consider myself as a very loving person. I'm very sweet, I'm thoughtful, and I got it from her. Me being an only child and growing up with just my mom around me, I was nurtured, and she gave me the best of the best.
Mm-hmm.
Even if we lived a simple life, I grew up in the province, by the way. I grew up in Agusan del Sur, in Bayugan, Agusan del Sur, until I was grade 6.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how the setup is in the province. The closest neighbor would have to be at least 10 houses away. And I grew up with just trees around me, a farmland, and snakes, all those animals around me. So we lived a peaceful life. And when I was in high school, we moved here. We moved in Cebu, in Argao, and that was when I realized that my mom would really do anything for me, because it was my choice to move to Cebu because I wanted to be with my cousins. And she, without any doubt, without any hesitation, she said yes. Okay, we'll move to Cebu. You will finish your studies there. And when I was in college, first year college, that was when I lost her. I was in first year. Um, for those who don't know as well, I'm a miracle baby, and well, my mom, she had an accident when she was 18, and she was told that she would only live up until 30, and that she would never be able to bear a child. But with the grace of the Lord, she gave birth to me at 33 years old, and she lived up until 48. So every day in my life, I'm just very thankful that I got to spend it with her, that I was even born in this world. I had always been asking myself why I had to go through all the experiences that I've had. Even before, I wouldn't really share my story to my friends. I would always cry. I was very meek. I don't want to see anyone. At some point in my life, I've gone through all those things. But then one day it just clicked to me that I don't want to be sad anymore. That I wanted to be something. I wanted to be someone. That I wanted to be happy again. That my mom would most definitely want me to be happy again.
Mm-hmm.
So I went out there. I searched for my purpose. I reminded myself that my mom gave birth to me no matter what. She defeated science. She defied science. And now I'm trying to live my life with a purpose, and trying to really give back to the community, especially to the single parents like
Yeah.
my mom. I'm connected with the Solo Parents Federation in my community, because I think that is how I will be able to repay my mom, even if she's no longer around.
Yeah. But Trace, not a lot of people, as you said, know this story. And Tatyana is...
Hey!
God,
name!
I'm trying not to cry too.
I'm actually surprised that you're not crying.
That's why
Trace.
I can see it in attorney's eyes. Don't cry. Don't
No,
cry.
don't
I'm
cry.
trying not to cry.
No, but
That's why I'm pausing a lot of times and compose myself.
no, the first time I heard this, I still remember the first time I heard this story. And like you saw me, I balled up also because no one knows the story about you, Trace. It's not like you've been out there on your social media telling people this really, it's not a wonderful story, but it's a story that will tell us who you are, where you've been, and what you've achieved despite all of these limitations that you've had. You lost your mom when you were 17 years old, and you had to fend for yourself at such an early age. And not a lot of people know that. And not a lot of people also know that you're volunteering for that organization. Right? It's not like you post your pictures there. And guys, this is the kind of person Tracy is. She's not like, out there telling people all of these wonderful things just to win a crown. And I hope now through conversations and when people see this, because I was the one who forced you to tell to tell your story to the people, because I really felt like it was a story that needed to be heard. Thank you.
And thank you, attorney. Thank you for allowing me to share my story.
Yeah.
That's also one realization that I've had as I grew older,
Yeah.
that I shouldn't be ashamed of telling my narrative. That it might one day help someone else out there. It might be a reminder to them that if I survived my life, that they can survive theirs too.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's the beauty of stories. Telling stories, even if you just touch one life, if you're able to save that one life, it's all worth it.
It's all worth it. We might not be able to save everyone, but we can save one person at a time, and that's a good thing.
Agree. All right. Okay, sorry.
Oh
Wait,
my
you need tissue
So
paper.
heavy,
You're
Mom.
so
Sorry.
strong, Ate Tracy. You're such a
I
strong
always tell
woman.
everyone that my life story is basically MMK. I can talk all day, but let's focus
Yes.
on you now.
After you win the crown, you should have an MMK
I know!
episode.
Baka naman.
Baka naman. And Tatyana will play my story. She will be the actress.
You have to teach me how to speak
I will teach you in the background.
Actually, and sorry that I mean,
It's okay.
just to focus on Tracy, just one more thing. This is one reason why not a lot of Tracy is very reserved before. She's not as what do you call this? Not as gregarious and not as outgoing as some people because she likes to be by herself.
Well, I'm used to being alone.
She used to being alone. And that's something not a lot of people think. Parang people think you're a little bit masungit.
Yeah, sometimes they would say that.
And diba, na parang you're not sociable, but she actually is a very sweet, sociable, loving girl, and she's always
Agree.
and when people hear that story, people will understand why you grew up learning to be alone and being okay that
I had to accept that, and I had to be happy with that.
Pa-water naman kayo dyan. Ma-water naman kayo dyan yung mga nasa background.
Thank you, guys.
But thank you so much again, Trace.
Thank you, attorney.
Now, Tat, I know, that it's your life is just beginning right now. You just turned an adult a month ago. 2 months ago.
April.
2 months ago.
Yeah.
You turned 18 2 months ago. And how difficult has this transition been for you? You're still growing up. You haven't finished high school when you started this Miss World journey. And I'm sure it's been difficult for you. How have you been managing all of that changes that's happening in your life?
I just really take it one day at a time. Because when I turned 18, I didn't really think na, I'm a woman now. In just that, like when the clock strikes 12, I'm a woman. I don't think it works that way. It never really does. It's really this year-long process. It depends. We have our own pace. We have our own time. We have our own destinies. And for me, I like to take it one day at a time. And as for balancing high school and Miss World, just this morning I freaked out when I saw that I got an email na may kulang daw ako. But when in fact, I do not have. Kasi GC ako, gachar. I actually made sure, before our headshots, before we had that week, puro photo shoots, right? For the intro video,
Yeah.
I made sure I submitted everything a week earlier. Parang a week before, like weeks before we graduated, I already finished everything that I needed to submit, all the e-portfolios and such. And so when I got that email, I had to clarify. So, it's not really easy as well. It's not a smooth sailing boat here.
Yeah.
I still have spikes of anxiety na parang may kulang ba ako? May hindi ba ako nabasa? May deductions ba sa grade dahil na late kong isubmit dahil slow yung internet or something. But with Miss World, I try to remember that it's not just my what I learned in Miss World, it does not end with Miss World. It's something that I take with me throughout my life. I have my sisters, there's a sisterhood that we build, the lessons that we learn, the little tips and tricks for pageantry, for future references. I don't know when I'll be able to pull that out someday. But you take a lot from these girls in pageantry that reminds me of high school then. Kasi you have your seatmates, your future roommates, diba? The reason why I joined Miss World is because one day it hit me na I kept on studying for, diba, online classes are new.
Mm-hmm.
No one was prepared. Just like you said, no one was prepared to handle the COVID-19 pandemic. No one was prepared to tackle online classes. Neither was I. I don't think I ever will be prepared. Nasanay na lang talaga ako. Pumasok sa Zoom all day. And last week nga, there's this like goosebumps feeling na we had our last class. And yun na yun, we just had to click leave Zoom. And that was it. That was the end of my 6 years of high school. There was no canteen, there was no canteen chikahan or something, and that was it. Leave Zoom, close Google Chrome, shut down the computer, goodbye high school. And as I was saying, balancing it all, it was a learning process. And the reason why I joined Miss World is yun nga. I was spending months just doing homework, and I stopped myself and thought, what am I doing for myself that I will learn from in the next 10 years? That's not studying. Because when you become a doctor, I plan on becoming a medical professional. It takes 10 years. So what am I doing aside from that? I'm not really doing anything with my life aside from studying. And so that's why I thought, Miss World has such a great platform. And I could really bring something new to it because I'm a Gen Z.
I'm Gen Z. I'm Gen Z also.
Me too. What are you talking about?
I stopped myself with it. But yeah, I feel like a lot of women and a lot of people in general from my generation need inspiration from people like us as well.
Yeah.
We just need the right platform, and that's why I want to start with Miss World. And it does not end there anyway.
You're so wise for such a young person. I
That's
don't
true.
know if I were this wise when
Thank you.
I was 18. Where does it come from, that? Where do you draw this intelligence? It's not even just intelligence, I mean, intelligence you read, you learn from school, you search on the internet. But wisdom is a different thing. Wisdom is something a little bit more deep than pure intelligence. Where does it come from?
I feel like I drew it from my life experience, and that's funny. That's a funny thing to say because I just turned 18. You wouldn't think that I have so much life experience, but I mean life experience because as I live my life, I always aim to take something out of it, take a lesson, bring it home with me, nurture, digest it, and then apply it to my next life chapter. And as for wisdom, I take it a lot from my parents as well, who might be watching this in Starbucks. Okay, do I have a Starbucks after that? No, but really, my parents are really wise people, and my mom and dad, they're so different kasi. Like, my dad's the extroverted, parang he can talk to anyone, no matter their personality, he just switches and he could talk to them for days because that's how good of a conversationalist he is. And as for my mom, she never quits. She's got this spicy spirit that I think I got it from her when I got into high school na parang ako magiging leader, ako na yan. Diba? Parang, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna assign you to do this. Very type A, very medical professional-like because she did start as a nurse. And I'm so grateful to have parents like them who keep supporting me. But at the same time, they're never afraid. They know I'm from Makati Science, and diba, there's always that going to be that pride that comes with it. But they still like to give me advice from time to time, and I really appreciate that. Even though sometimes I don't show it, na parang, really? Really? Am
you're
I
not
wrong?
You're not the only teenager that has rolled their eyes at their parents.
But yeah, and actually, me passing Maksai, it was it was Maksay or nothing for me. Actually, kasi when I moved here in Manila, I went to, diba, I finished grade 6 in a private Catholic school.
Mm-mm.
And then as for high school, I had no idea what I wanted to do. So my parents was like, take this exam for Maksay. And I took the exam for that science high school and I passed it. And that was it. That was 6 years of being pressured because all of you are excellent. All of us are excellent at that school. Diba? You have to somehow find what makes you excellent within yourself.
Yeah.
It's not a competition against the other students, against the other self-proclaimed nerds like me. It really is a competition within yourself and how much you grow within the next 6 years of high school.
Yeah, and this is in the way she speaks. It's obvious that she's not competing for any of the teen crowns. she's obviously in it to win it also.
That's true.
For the adult crowns. I don't know what the difference is. But yeah, I mean that I'm always the first time I met you, it was in Empire, remember?
Yeah.
I was always so amazed with this girl. I'm like, she's 17, she's Bebe Girl. That's what I call her. I don't know if anyone else calls her Bebe Girl, but she's my Bebe Girl.
I call her my baby girl.
Ako Bebe Girl with a GH.
Ah.
Bebe Girl.
Just you. Yay.
Yeah. That's mine to her. And sometimes I have to catch myself not to call her that because it infantilizes her, which is parang inaccurate because she's so mature already for her
you're the ate,
age.
diba?
Yeah, I am
Yeah.
the ate
So that's
at
why she
home.
wants to be the baby.
So it's
then
fun to
sometimes.
be the childish here, child.
Actually, that's what the for everyone who's watching, that's what I always remind that is to enjoy her youth, to enjoy this time of her life that she's not yet in her 20s. When you're still you're still in your teens, literally.
How are the 20s ba? Is it that bad?
The 20s are bad. The 20s are terrible because 20s, that's when you're transitioning to working and you're from college where you have like the smallest salary possible and like you want to go out but you don't have the money to do so and then your parents no longer give you your allowance. 20s are the worst, believe me. 20s are the worst. So Tracy, you're doing a good job being in your
Yeah.
30s a little bit better, you have a little bit more sweldo, but enjoy it. And my point is enjoy being young. And I think you're doing that. Even though you're competing with these seasoned professionals, you're competing like you've done this forever. And I think that comes with wisdom, and I think that comes from the amount of love and support and rearing that your parents have successfully done for you. So, and your brothers. Also.
Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, so Aces and Queens, priority is to build character. Priority is not just to have beauty queens, but women of substance that will succeed whether or not they win the crown. And these two perfect examples of that. Oh my gosh, I'm getting goosies. Goosies! Alright, I turned down the music a little bit, but I will turn up the music a little bit more now. Alright, now, we are already on our... Oh gosh, we're 45 minutes in already. I always say I want this 1 hour, but it never happens because there's always great conversations. I never want to stop it. But we have to move on. And now we are moving on to the dreaded Q&A round. Ladies, are we ready?
Ready.
Alright, so we will have 2 questions each for both of you. Alright? Ito, hindi talaga prepared yung questions. Patay tayo. Dito matitest natin talaga how good their Q&A skills are. Alright, ayan, holding hands. Alright, so who wants to go first? A true beauty queen has initiative. Oh. That's our first rule. So who wants to go first? Alright. Sino ba talaga nauna? Who went
We can
first?
do this again.
We can do this
Sige,
again.
pack boom na lang.
Here.
Tsaka boy. Then,
Oh.
you wanna go first?
Yeah, sure.
She didn't have a choice.
Alright. Taty, your question is this. Australia has recently announced that they will be sending their first transgender woman to the Olympics in the weightlifting heavyweight category. A lot of people are against this, saying that transgender women should not compete in traditionally cis women's sports. Do you agree?
You know, the way I look at it, I find it so out of this world that people are still debating human rights. Trans women are women at the end of the day, and they will always be women. And so if them competing in the Olympics do follow the rules of science, do follow the guidelines, and allow a fair playing field for everyone, then I have no idea why we should not let them play at all. Why we should not let them be themselves in a world full of love that and passion for sports that they should be able to celebrate.
Ah, somebody is attending Q&A training regularly. I love that.
Check.
Ako din, I was actually in a talk a while ago, just an hour before we started, on inclusion and diversity and why allyship is so important. And you know, that's the same thing I said. Not exactly in those words, but trans women are women. And inclusion and diversity should be embraced. Empathy should be exercised. That the world that we live in is cisgendered, is heteronormative, and has worked on binaries does not mean that it is correct. It does not mean that it is the correct way to think about how people should live their lives. And I absolutely 100% agree with you that trans women should be able to compete in cis women's sports. Agree.
Period.
Period. My job.
Pasok pa sa time limit. That's usually my question.
30 seconds!
Oh no, Tatyana's giving a lecture again.
No, pasok sa time limit.
Yay.
To be fair.
Very good.
All right,
very good.
congrats. So what's my score for
Oh,
100.
Ako, because of the time lang, I would give it a 98. The 2 seconds, room for improvement to make sure that you try to squeeze it a little bit more so that you
Yes.
really fit in the 30 seconds.
Yes, okay.
It doesn't have to be a long answer, it just has to be an impactful one.
Yes.
All right, Tracy, are you ready for your question?
I'm ready.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, Miss Cebu, your question is this. This is appropriate for you since you're from Cebu.
Okay. Now I'm
Do you
curious.
think-
Same.
Do you think that English, you know, we have, how many languages do you have in the Philippines? We have 160 something languages, odd number of languages in the Philippines, and you are a native Cebuano speaker, right? And yet our national language is Filipino. Do you think that English should be the national language instead of the Philippines?
I think that our national language is and should always be Filipino. Because Filipino as a national language, it doesn't mean that it's just Tagalog. It's a mixture of various dialects from all over the Philippines. And it should always be that way. And dialect, language, all these differences, what makes us a country. It's what makes us different from all the other countries out there. And while English and learning English is very important, especially when it comes to finding job opportunities, we should still remember our roots. We should not forget who we are and who we are as a country. And Filipino being our national language is the best way to celebrate us being Filipinos.
Okay. I like that answer. I love that answer. You know why? I celebrate the fact that in Cebu, you know, you speak Cebuano, and then you have Hiligaynon. I love that in a regional setup, we can celebrate the individuality of
That's true.
each city, of each province, right? Kasi in Cebu, mas marami nagsasalita ng Cebuano talaga, and very few people can speak
Bisaya.
Tagalog. Bisaya talaga.
Bisaya, yes.
Compared to Tagalog. And I celebrate that. That's what makes the Philippines beautiful, the diversity of our cultures. Even the differences of the adobo in each province.
There's always that one spice na magkaiba dapat.
Diba, in Batangas, we have the adobong dilaw because we put the yellow ginger. We put the red ginger. What do you call it escapes me right now. But you have different types of adobo also all over the country. And there are so many food languages, cultural preferences, diba? You have different fiestas, even the what do you call this? I'm not very religious, but the fiestas that are celebrated in Cebu on the Santo Niño, and then you go to
Yes.
Manawag, and then you have Our Lady of Manawag. You go to Naga, and you have Our Lady of Peña Francia, etc., etc. I love that we have these cultural differences. So I 100% agree.
Let's go.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Just because of the length, I would give it a 98 also.
It was long.
It is a little bit long.
Mm.
Shorter, 30 seconds,
Yeah,
30 seconds.
Well, that has always been our problem.
Actually, because you have so much to say. But yan, ginagawa na rin namin tong conversations with Attorney JV as Q&A training for the girls. Kasi- Alright, Tati, are you ready for your question?
Yes.
Alright, Tati, your question is this. Beauty pageants have long been considered as discriminatory against women, sometimes even considered misogynist. What can you say to people to convince them that beauty pageants are an important platform in this day and age?
I have to admit that beauty pageants in history have started out as a parade for women for the male gaze. But today we have to acknowledge its relevance even during this pandemic because pageants are giving women this platform to speak their advocacies, to speak their passions in life, and to speak about the things that they believe in, the things that truly matter, and to amplify the voices of those who are being drowned out in the echo chamber that is social media. And so I applaud every single beauty queen that is brave enough to stand there on that stage to fully showcase how confident they are in themselves and how confident they are in the dreams that they will be achieving. And so I hope that people will acknowledge that soon because beauty pageants will always be relevant. They will always be helpful. And beauty pageants are feminist indeed.
Oh my gosh.
May echo chamber, may male gaze, tapos meron pang impact statement in the dulo. Hindi ko na alam.
Amazing,
In the
Daddy.
dulo.
In the dulo.
Kaso feel ko lagpas sa time limit.
Medyo lagpas sa time limit. Kaya 98 pa rin. Hindi 100. But my God, I wish there were no time limits for Q&A. Because truly, the 30-second will never encapsulate the complete brilliance that you girls have. It's never enough. Because there's so many things to say about these important social issues. 30 seconds, that's a time limit. But I hope you get that opportunity. All of you to get more that opportunity to really showcase to the people that we're not just preparing for Q&A. We're not just preparing to answer the 30-second question, but we're preparing you to have strong opinions about important social issues. And this one was a complete showcase of that. So 98 lang, but only because of Miss World 30-second time limit.
Yes. Thank you.
Congratulations. All right. Miss Cebu.
Yes.
Miss Cebu. Gusto ko palang I wanna go to Cebu.
We should.
Gusto ko
After
mag-suffocate.
the coronation.
After your coronation.
Celebration.
After our
Cebu.
coronation.
After your
Is this an
coronation.
after party?
Pwede. Tapos pala nag-wine tayo today, kaya lang hindi...
Chucky, please.
I
Hi,
have,
tita!
I have the light. Can you get, Jits, can you get the light? Can you get the light for Tatyana and then we'll have, vodka. So you can Joke lang po, we don't like drinking. But if you do, drink safely. Alright, so Miss Cebu, your question is this. A lot of people even if they have the opportunity to get vaccinated, refuse because they are afraid. How would you encourage people to get vaccinated?
Well, for me, we should always start by addressing the fear. I personally know how my relatives, even my uncles, my aunties, are afraid of getting the vaccine because who's not afraid of the unknown? Who is not afraid of the side effects? But we should also try to think that we would rather experience the side effects of the vaccine than the symptoms of the COVID itself. So we should firstly address the fear. I would like to start with my family and my friends first. I cannot encourage everyone right now, but by starting with my closest niche, I would be able to let others know as well that if my family have been safe, then they can be safe too.
I like that. I like that, Trace. I like that we have to think small. It's not about, you know, getting 108 million Filipinos
Yes.
vaccinated today. That's not the point. The point is, let's identify our spheres of influence because these are the people that we can really talk to on an individual level and have that direct conversation with them to ensure that whatever fears they may have, we can address directly. Because it's different when you see it on social media, right? You see it, it's passive. You cannot ask questions. And sometimes addressing the fear is about addressing those questions. Actually, more often than not, it's about that. So, I like that. But everyone who's watching right now, if you get the opportunity to get vaccinated, whatever vaccine that is, I got the Sinovac vaccine. I'm getting my second dose on Friday. I felt a little bit lethargic lang. Lethargic, parang pagod ka.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel any symptoms after that. And you're absolutely right. It's better to feel the effects of the vaccine itself than to get hospitalized, spend millions of pesos being in the ICU, or even at worst losing your life because you got infected with with the virus. The vaccine helps us prevent the worst effects of the virus, and that's why it's important that everyone gets, to Tatyana's word a while ago, inoculated.
Yeah.
Naalala ko yung sinabi mo, inoculated.
Thanks,
Kanina.
CNN.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, have you guys been vaccinated?
I've had my first dose. I'm getting
Same
my
here.
second dose in a few days.
Good.
And also, just to add, there will always be someone monitoring you through text. They would always ask you if you're experiencing some symptoms, so you could tell them, and they could do something about it if you are experiencing severe effects.
They also hold you back for 30 minutes.
Yes, that's true.
They literally watch you for
Yeah.
30
They watch
minutes.
you for 30 minutes.
Yes, to see kasi if you have allergic reaction to the virus. Because we don't know yet, diba? No one has, what do you call this, an allergy test for the COVID vaccine yet. And that's why the medical professionals are there to ensure that you are safe after you get the vaccine. Diba? Good. Oh my gulay. Oh my gulay. I have a third question, pero ayaw nila kasing sagutin yung question na yan. Sabi nila talaga a while ago, attorney, huwag mo nang itanong sa akin yan. Ayaw ko. Sige, kung hindi yan ang itatanong ko, ito na lang ang itatanong ko. If you're not going to win the crown, who do you think among your sisters will win the crown? That's more difficult. Ayaw nyo nung tanong ko kanina, ha? Ayaw nyo nung tanong ko. They refused it. Vehemently refused to answer that
Dumami
question.
bigla yung viewers, Char.
Sino kaya?
Ano kaya?
So
Ay,
who-
nako, attorney?
Who do you think should win? Will win, if not you? Success. This is my clickbait now. This is my clickbait.
Tapos
Remember,
yung thumbnail.
remember.
Kaya?
Oh yeah, let's do
Think
our
about
thumbnail now.
it.
Remember before I had that clickbait video, people were saying that Rabia's mentors exposes why Rabia will not win, and that was not the thing I said at all. I'm like, but no.
Guys.
So, what qualities na lang of a Miss World winner do you want to see? And if you can answer, where do you, among which of your sisters, who of your sisters, do you see that quality the most? Ayaw talagang i-give up yung
May last
question.
points ba? Pag sinagot ko.
I know I've never asked this question because I always say stay in your own lane. But what are the qualities you think of a perfect representative to Puerto Rico for Miss World Philippines?
Me first, right?
Mm.
Definitely someone who is educated. And not just, educated in her words, not educated in academia, but educated in the real world, keeping up with every single news article that's relevant to the Philippines, but at the same time, who is vocal about these things. Because beauty pageants have that platform, and if you have a platform, what will you use it for if not to speak about the things that you believe in? And so I really want someone who's vocal, who's responsible, who's aware of the things about the Philippines, who is passionate, definitely passionate. Because with passion, you can never go wrong, passion for the right things. And someone who is honest to herself, to her audiences, to her followers, and to the people that she will impart her wisdom on with her reign as Miss World Philippines.
Ewan ko, wala na rin ako comment during Q&A training. Ganyan din ako. Okay, thank you.
That's true. Totoo yan, guys.
Because we always ask the girls for comments, for feedback for the other girls.
We don't say anything if it's Tatyana.
But usually the only comment for Tat, if it's long,
long.
you need to be more succinct. Yeah, agree. But chills. All right, how about you, Trace? If you're not going to win, if you're not going to win, what qualities do you want to see? But you can also describe yourself.
And I am her.
And I am her. Oh my God, Kylie versus Trace.
So for me, attorney, I just really want to see one thing, one quality. For me, the Miss World, the next Miss World Philippines, and the next Miss World should be inspirational. That is the only thing for me that's very important. She has to be able to share her stories, share her life experiences. She has to be relatable to the people and not just to one specific race, to one specific walk of life. It has to be everyone. I always coin myself as the everyday Filipina, and I'd like to see that same person in the Miss World stage. Because if you want to be Miss World, you have to be able to make everyone see your worth, realize and appreciate your worth. May that be a child, may that be a professional, or from anyone from all over the world. You have to have at least one thing that would relate you to them in a certain way. And being well-rounded, and again, drawing from your experiences, you can never go wrong with that.
I love that. Oh, may impact statement din in the end. Alright, so, in a roundabout way, I was able to ask them the question that they were dreading. Because a while ago, the last question really was, why should you be the next Miss World Philippines? And in a very indirect way, we were able to accomplish that. Because you girls just described who you are. And you nailed it in the head. I love that. Okay, this is how we're gonna do it. From now on in the show, we're learning along the way.
The next girls will have the heads up now. You have to rephrase it.
You were my guinea pigs.
Actually, true.
But, I mean, both of the things that you said, Tatyana, looking at it from that inspirational point of view, drawing from your experiences in terms of, being a studious individual. The thirst for learning, the thirst for life is there. It's who you are. And that's something that you really bring to the table. And that's one of the reasons why you could definitely take home not the Miss World Philippines crown. And Tracy, di ba parang kanina nung sabi niya, telling stories. Now that you're embracing that, embracing who you are, being relatable, being able to influence people from a perspective of experience, that's an equally powerful narrative that people will say, she deserves to be the next Miss World Philippines to represent us in Puerto Rico. So both of you have really strong narratives. Both of you have a strong sense of self. Both of you know your core. And that's why the people watching now, hopefully we get more views after we upload this to YouTube. People will see why both of you deserve to win that crown. And I'm so excited. I'm so kilig. Hopefully we can watch on July 25. All right. Okay. All right. Well, we're heading towards the end of our show right now because it's already 1 hour and 6 minutes. Anyway, I always say 1 hour, but it never happens. So 1 hour. All right.
I think it's because it's Taty and Tracy who answer very
It's
long.
gonna be 2 hours.
I know. I know because you're so talkative. Imagine if Dindy Pajares was here also.
We would never end.
Love you, Dins. We miss you. But no, but Dins will be... Sige, I will announce tomorrow. But,
I know.
but, people will appreciate that. Don't let the 30 seconds in the Miss World stage stop you from telling your story in other media, in other platforms. Tell your story and people will listen. All right, okay. So now we're headed to the last part of our show. Just want you to, I'll leave the, look at the camera. So tig-isa kayo in the camera, and then just tell the people why. Why should you be the next step? Just your message to your fans, everyone that has supported you along the way. What is your message to them? And why should they still be continuing to support you until July 25 and even after that in December in Puerto Rico for Miss World? Alright, who wants to go first? Okay, Trace, go ahead.
Tracy's hand is twitching.
Oh my god. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna be alone. Okay.
Ayos muna. Siyempre.
Ayos muna. But guys, again, this is Tracy Maureen Perez. I wanna start my message and address it to all the Cebuanos first. I wanna speak in Bisaya if I may. Sa tanan mga Cebuano, tanan mga Bisaya, pero may gyud ko nagastorya ninyo ani, but salamat gyud kayo nga hangtod karon sa akong ikatulong nga try. Wala gyud mo nibiya nako, wala gyud mo gikapoy nga mag-support nako unya, mag-send nako tanan ninyo encouraging messages. Nakita nako na per me, and it's what helps me move forward in life and in my everyday activities, in the everyday challenges. So salamat jud kayo. Thank you for giving me strength. And to everyone who is watching, please don't forget to support your favorite candidates. And again, you don't have to just support one candidate. All my sisters are equally beautiful, equally smart. And the best part about them, the best part of all of us, is that we have a kind heart. We are good people. We have good character. And I think that's the most important thing. So please continue to watch our journey, all our activities, and hopefully we will see you guys on July 25. Hopefully there will be an audience so that you can see face to face everything that we've trained so hard for. So I'll see you guys there. Thank you again for supporting every single one of us. Bye.
Evening to everyone who's watching. Thank you so much for tuning in until the end of the broadcast. Ate Tracy and I have so much to share, and so do all my Aces sisters and my Miss World sisters, because we've been trained so well by the attorneys. And I just want to say thank you so much for supporting me from day one until here. My parents who are watching right now at Starbucks downstairs, who have been, very supportive, who have been giving me very great advice with life, and to my classmates, to my teachers at school who have been supporting my personal endeavors no matter what they may be, even though they're not exactly science and technology or mathematics or engineering. And I'm so grateful for the support I've been receiving from Parañaque City as well. Thank you so much for being my home for the past few years, for helping me become the woman I am today. And gracias as well to Zamboanga City, who will always be part of my heart, who will always be very dear to me, and I will carry every single thing that I've learned growing up there in my Miss World journey. So thank you so much for supporting us, and do tune in to July 25 because we have so much to offer, and there's so much more surprises awaiting you all, and entertainment to come during Miss World Philippines.
Yay! Thank you, Trace. Join us again.
Yes.
Thank you so much,
I
Tracy
will
and
scoop.
Tat, for gracing our very first Miss World special series. I think we started off with a bang. I'm so happy we invited Taty and Tracy tonight. So everyone, thank you for joining us in Conversations with Attorney JV. We will have a next episode on Friday, and we will have Miss Dindy Pajares of Bataan and Miss Ann De Mesa of Batangas on Friday. So see you guys, and thank you so much, and arigatou gozaimasu. Bye!
Bye, guys.